Hey everybody, it's Nikea
and Jasmine,
and this is Black Girl Lit.
Welcome back to another episode where we gon' get lit. I'm bad and boozy today.
So after we told you all last time, we are reading Jasmine's pick, This Side of Home by Renee Watson, and she picked a YA book.
Inception wise, I got Inception into picking.
Oh, that's Twilight Zone.
That the music is Twilight Zone, but the hand motion was the spelling time. So you're halfway there.
So we're gonna get right into this, and we're gonna talk about the author,
Renee Watson.
Yes. So Renee is Black.
And she's lit.
Renee Watson is a New York Times best-selling author. She is an educator and she's an activist. Her young adult novel, Piecing Me Together, received a Coretta Scott King Award and Newbery Honor. She has given readings and lectures at many renowned places. The New York Times calls her writing charming and evocative. Her poetry and fiction often centers around the lived experience of Black girls and women and explores the themes of home, identity, and the intersections of race, class, and gender. In the summer of 2016, which I really like this about her, she launched I2 Arts Collective, a nonprofit committed to nurturing underrepresented voices in the creative arts. And she grew up in Portland, Oregon, but she currently lives in New York.
I think that is the longest author bio that you have ever
Because
given.
I had to, that's the shortened version. But she has done a lot of stuff besides just being an author, and she's like multifaceted, which I thought was, really dope about her. And she's very intentional about her art and what she does and what she puts out there. So I just thought it was important to know that.
That's good. That is very, very good.
All right, here we go. Here we go, yo.
So
where
it's the scenario
thrives.
My thriving place. Flourishing. All right, so This Side of Home is a story about Maya, another Maya story. Right. This is our third one.
Yeah.
Well, second and a half because the first one we never finished. So it's about Maya, who has a twin sister named Nikki. They are about to go into the book starts with them about to go into their senior year of high school, and they are kind of like thick as thieves. But coming into this year, they're kind of noticing some changes about themselves as well as changes within their neighborhood. So the book has some themes about gentrification and how the twins kind of handle that. Maya's twin sister's name is Nikki, and Nikki is more so for the gentrification where Maya is not. Nikki is also, she straightens her hair, she's a free spirit, whereas Maya wears her fro out. She thought about the people and the advancement of the Black people and kind of looking at this gentrification of their neighborhood as like a really bad thing. So the book is kind of about them going through their senior year, dealing with the changes in their neighborhood as well as some changes within their lives as they're about to go embark on this college journey. Hopefully together, maybe not together. We don't know.
We know.
We know. But you don't know because you ain't read the book yet. So you gotta read the book. But yeah, no, that's kind of the high level view of This Side of Home.
All right, y'all. So next we're gonna get into our reactions. So the first thing I wrote was this book read like poetry. Like when I was reading it, I was like, is this a poem? It read like poetry and I really enjoyed it. It flowed very well. I noted that it was told in the third person, but it was all from Maya's perspective. And another thing that caught my attention, that there were underlying issues in Maya's parents' relationship. Yeah. Like you would read little things and I'm like, it was never really addressed, I guess because that wasn't the main focus. But those were my main reactions to this novel.
Okay. Also for me, first reaction I had was Maya, and this is not really a reaction, this is just something I typed as I was reading the book, so I'm trying to do better about writing down my thoughts as I'm reading. So the first thing I wrote was Maya's gonna leave Devin for Tony. Because Devin is Maya's boyfriend throughout the book. Tony is this white kid that moves across the street, and this is the way the book was written and their conversations. I'm like, oh, she probably will leave her boyfriend for him. Then I wrote that I see myself in both Nikki and Maya. So I am a person, obviously my hair is straightened, so some things that Nikki was talking about how she was excited about the gentrification or these new stores and restaurants coming to the neighborhood. I was like, I get that. But then I also saw Maya's point of view where she's like, no, this is taking away from our people. Like, yeah, it's great that these things are coming in, but what about the Black businesses that could have been there, but they were denied the opportunity?
Yeah.
So I saw both sides. So, but yeah, those are my reactions.
Jazz putting all her topics in her reaction. So let's go ahead and that's a good segue into major scenes and topics.
Yeah.
So Jazz noted in her book synopsis that one of the topics was gentrification. That is like the main one. I also noted interracial relationships.
Another book with that.
Not just like romantic relationships, but you know, friendships, all that stuff. Discrimination, discussions of race, class, and gender as they relate to education, and then inequality in the school systems. I noticed educational stuff because, you know, I'm an education, I'm a teacher.
She's an educator.
So I really picked up on that.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead since you were already into your topics.
All right, so my topics are not written out as like topics like hers, but they're like topics. I have feelings of pride and shame for the culture, which is something that we talked about in the prior book,
Love, Hate,
and Other Filters, where the Maya in that book was feeling some pride and shame about her culture, especially when the terrorist attack happened and it possibly may have been a Muslim person. But in this book, This Side of Home, there's a situation where I think it was a robbery shooting.
Yeah, I noted that she was at Tony's house. They were watching the news about a bank hostage. And Maya was hoping that it wasn't a black person.
Yes, and I was like, that's something that we talked about in our last video that we both relate to. And then interracial relationships, I had that you can be both a black girl who loves a white guy and care about class and race, which is actual quote from the book. And I think a lot of times when people see people of color, especially I see mostly they get that from women. When a black woman is dating a white man, they usually say, oh, you don't care about the culture, you don't care about the people, you're not, you know, all about black people if you're dating a white person. I'm like, you can be about the
That reminds
people.
me of Dear White People, because the main character, she was dating a white guy at the beginning, and she has her radio show. And
I'm like, you can still be very pro-black and all about black people and date a white person. And that's my personal opinion. I feel like who you date doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be a part of different movements or be an activist for and be woke for your people. You can still see the injustices happening and still act upon them. So those were my major scenes, though. Those are my topics. Major scene. The biggest scene for me was when Nikki was explaining why she was okay with the neighborhood changing. And she talked about how she knows that when she goes into the stores that are white owned, that she knows that they're gonna look at her, she knows that they're gonna follow her around, she knows that she's not gonna get the service that she deserves, but she's doing it and constantly going in there because she wants to show them that I belong here too. I'm supposed to be here just like you are. And I think that is a big thing, especially being a person of color trying to figure out how to exist in a world that doesn't look like you and trying to make your stake and make your place in that world. And I think that was really important. And I think it was good for her to explain that to her sister because her sister saw it completely different. And I think once they had that conversation, I think it helped them.
Yeah, they were both on like two extremes. So,
yes.
Yeah. So the scene where Principal Green confronts Mrs. Armstrong about the posters and the press release in front of the students.
Yes.
And she read him
in Z formation.
Without even having to say too much.
Right.
Principal Green, oh my God, he is a shady dude. I do not like him.
No.
I did not like his character, because then there was a scene where Principal Green had a meeting with Maya's dad about the scholarships, and he was trying to hint that he didn't want the person who won the scholarship to be African American. And everything that Maya and the student council brought up that like would focus on African Americans, they wanted to continue their Black History Month celebration. He was just like,
no, we need to be diverse.
Right, he was trying to play both sides against the middle. I didn't like him.
I neither.
Also, when Maya, this was a turning point for her when she was talking to Mr. Washington in the coffee shop, and he was telling her the history of the neighborhood because the coffee shop had some pictures up in there, and that kind of opened Maya's eyes to like, okay, we still have, you know, a place here. We can still accept, you know, these people moving in. And then because of this scene and some other events that took place in the novel, I wrote that Maya, she accepts change. She accepted the change and realized that her home will always be her home, no matter how it grows and changes and evolves, and she just has to grow and evolve with it. So not just to say, okay, these outside people, because her neighborhood was mostly Black, so then these white owned businesses came in, so not to say that we're just gonna let them take over and we're gonna move out of here and erase our culture, but it's like, okay, this place is growing and changing, I have to grow and evolve with it and kind of open, you know, her mind.
We can coexist.
Right. And that kind of ties in with a quote. So something happened in the neighborhood and some of the businesses were destroyed. And there was a quote at the top. It said, "A cleansing is taking place, a stitching together of trust. As we clean, we talk, and as we talk, we learn about one another." So a lot of students from her school, which was predominantly Black and, you know, students of color, they came back to the neighborhood and were helping the communities clean up. And Maya was able to learn about the business owners and learn about their history and kind of open her eyes to see, okay, they're human too, and they're not just in the mindset of taking over. Because it brings to my mind, like, currently the area where Howard University is in DC is being gentrified.
Yep.
So they made a notice to people that you can't walk your dogs on this campus. And Howard actually posted a sign. It's not an exact quote, and if I can find it, I'll post it in the video. But they said something to the effect of, "Hey gentrifiers, this is a Black institution where students are doing Black learning. This is not a place for you to walk your dogs." So then somebody, my fiance told me that he saw on a post that somebody commented like, "Well, if you don't want us to walk your dogs, you need to move your university."
Oh yeah, it was a white guy. He was getting interviewed. I saw comments, and there was a white dude who got interviewed, and he was talking about, it's
Move Howard?
He said move Howard. You just move your whole university, because that's easy.
That was there first?
That was there before your poopy dog.
Howard is not going anywhere. Like,
nah.
Y'all trying to take HBCU? No. And Beyonce just did homecoming, so HBCUs ain't going nowhere.
Side note, speaking of Beyonce, Taylor Swift, stay in your lane, boo. Stay in your lane. Don't cross over. You didn't even try to put your blinker on. You just try to cut over in somebody else's lane. Stay in your lane, boo.
So there was this quote on page 224, and Maya tells Tony. So I think somebody yelled the N-word in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
And it came from Tony's direction. So Tony is this white guy that Maya is interested in. So people were saying that he said it, and then people were saying that Maya's ex-boyfriend, who's Black, was like the one defacing the posters. So, you know, it's kind of pitting the white against Black or whatever. Then Maya kind of like ignores Tony and defends her ex or whatever. And then Maya says that blood is thicker than water. And then Tony comes back and says, "But you can't survive without either."
Dang, drop that mic.
Boy, I said, if that quote ain't deep, because we say that all the time, like when it comes to family, like family can do you wrong, or, you know, you may not talk to your family or be upset with them or something, and then they might come back with you and say blood is thicker than water, because you may run to your friends or somebody who's not related to you, but Tony just dropped some knowledge.
You can't survive without both, man.
You need blood and you need water.
You need both.
Okay.
Look, I got a couple quotes because I highlighted it. I'm getting better about this.
I saw that.
You know, okay. All right, so my first quote, don't know who said it. I think Maya said it, because when you with the Kindle, you just highlight sections and it just...
Chapter 20? Let me see if
Yeah, chapter 20. It says, "Nothing exotic added to our Blackness to give us unique tones, curly hair, nothing added to our Blackness to give us just the right complexion." So it was Nikki. No, it was Maya. Maya was
She's probably talking about that girl.
Yeah, she's talking about the new girl, Claudia. And basically, the reason why I highlighted that quote is because in the book, there's a new girl who comes into school. Her name's Claudia, and everyone's all hyped about Claudia because, "Ooh, what are you, girl? What are you, girl?" With all that, like, "What are you?" kind of conversation. And basically, Maya's talking about how being Black, just being straight Black, isn't exotic. It's not enough. It doesn't seem like it's any different. And that resonated with me because I get that question, which is crazy. I get that question sometimes, and mainly probably because of my hair. And some people are like, "Ooh, I
think my beard eye shape too."
And I'm like, "I'm Black. You straight Black?"
Straight Black.
Yeah, I'm straight Black.
I've never been asked what I'm.
Oh, okay.
I guess I look Black.
I guess you look Black. I mean, I look Black. I think I personally look Black. But I feel like there are some times where women who are Black, when they get asked that question, feel like, "Oh, me being Black's not good enough."
Right.
Like, I can only be this beautiful or look this attractive to you because I have something else mixed in me. Like, there's no way I can be this way and be this attractive just being Black. There has to be some reason for it. And I was like, that resonated with me. And then also there was another quote that touched my spirit, and that quote was so Kate, there's a character in the story named Kate who is actually Tony's sister, is a white girl, and Kate and Nikki become really close. Nikki starts hanging out with her quite a bit, and it kind of annoys Maya a little bit because they've always been kind of thick as thieves. It's always been them two. And kind of, not necessarily Kate comes between their relationship, but it becomes a big sticking point for Maya and Nikki because Nikki's like, "Why don't you hang out with me and Kate?" And Maya's like, "No, I don't want to hang out with that girl because I don't like her.
Right.
Even though
her people taking over the neighborhood.
Right, she didn't really want to kick it with her. Maya tells Nikki, you and Kate want to function in this love sees no color world, but if your friends don't see your color, then they don't see you. Which I think is also deep, because you always have those white people who are like, I don't see color. I have a black
talk about that in the video before?
You probably did. I have a black friend. I don't see color. Yes, no, you need to see color. You need to see that I'm a black person so that you can understand, not necessarily relate to, you're never going to relate to what I'm going through, but you at least can be able to empathize or sympathize with what's happening to our people. Because for you to say, oh, I don't see color means you don't understand. You're going to be blind to whatever kind of injustices that may be happening or things that may be happening. So no, you need to be able to see the color of your friends. And those are the quotes that I like. Quotes by Jazz. The more you know.
This one was just really good. I like the way it was written. It was poetic. It was. At first
I was concerned. I was like, why are there so many chapters? But
some chapters were like one page.
Literally, it was weird.
She wrote this like a poem.
She did.
I don't know how you write an entire novel like a poem, but she did.
This one. What?
All right, y'all. Now it's time for your favorite part of the video, where we gonna rate that book. Hey,
rate that book. We gon' rate that book. Rate that book. Rate that book. We gon' rate that book. Rate that book. We gon'. I didn't know I was going either. I just started and then it just
came out.
So I rated first last time and you got mad at me. So I'm gonna let you go first. And I'll see if I need to adjust my rating so that you don't get mad at me. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna still give y'all the real tea.
I love the Cardi B clip. Y'all know.
Okay?
What was the reason? So this book is lit. Yeah. Oh, we didn't go to our scale. Oh well.
Okay.
Y'all know by now. But this book is lit. Make sure I'm sucking in my stomach because the crop top coming up. Yes, this book was lit for me.
That's right, Harper girl.
Harper agrees. Like, it was well written. I love the fact that it was written like poetry. I love the issues that she addressed and how she addressed them. And I feel like she didn't leave anything unsaid in the book, and everything wasn't wrapped up and tied up in a bow.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't perfect. Like, there was a situation with the twins' best friend, Essence, and I was like, oh, she's gonna come out on top in this situation, but she didn't. She had to, you know, take an alternative route. And this book was really dope, and I feel like I gave it a lit also because once I read her bio and like what she stood for and what she stands for and what she represents and her intention behind her art, I was like, I love you, Renee. I think we have another book.
We do.
By her.
We sent it together.
Yeah.
That was her first book.
Yeah, so we have another book by her, so I'm excited to read that one. So this book is, Harper, get out the video. I see your little bows running around. Our shot is wider now. But this book is a lit for me. I would definitely recommend it. Y'all need to read it. It's really, really good. It's a quick and easy read.
Lit.
Promise.
Alright, so it's my turn. So I'm just kidding. I am lit as well, actually. Lit.
Oh, like, how you write your own
book? No, so honestly, for the same reasons as Nikea, it was a really well written book. I really enjoyed it. I think it talked about some really good issues. Hey girl, no, I really thoroughly enjoyed the book. I thought it was very well written. I think it talked about some really good issues. And like I said, when I was able to see myself in both of the characters, Nikki and Maya, that really helped me to enjoy the book, because it helped me to talk about my own feelings about like gentrification and how I feel about it. And I can see the benefit and, you know, the not benefit. I can't think of what the word, the opposite word of benefit. What's the
detriment?
The detriment. I don't know. Benefit and detriment. I can see the benefit and detriment of gentrification, and it was really good. So I think Renee, you did a fantastic job. I definitely think people should read the book. I am happy and I am pleasantly shocked that not only did I pick a YA book, I picked a book that I like. Like, what is
this is the first YA book that you picked, because Margot was like my pick and you wanted to read it.
Yeah, like what is happening to me? I didn't know I was going to like it, but I like it.
What is this?
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. Okay. That is it for this book, y'all. So our next book, all the rest of my picks are YA. So
all of her picks are YA.
For this round. For round 2, okay? Just calm down.
All of your picks have always been YA. Okay, continue.
So the next book that we are reading, we've already started. It's called The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm gonna say it like that. So it's actually a book written in verse, so it's in all poems. and I had to slow down reading so me and Jazz can stay on task together.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So that's our next book. So if you have read this side of home, drop us some comments down below. Give us your feedback on it.
Engage with us.
If you haven't read it, read it, and then drop some comments down below.
Engage with us.
Or on our Instagram page at blackgirllit_YT. Let us know what you think. But that is all that we have for you today. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up it. Alright, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because this is where Black Girl Lit lives. This is where we thrive, okay? So I think that is it for today, y'all. You know, rate, comment, subscribe, follow us on our social media. Everything will be down below in the description box.
Yes.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll definitely be seeing you all in the next one. As always, stay Black Girl Lit.
Stay Black Girl Lit. Bye.
Bye.
Have a wave at the camera. Say bye. Thank you.